Hi, I'm Doug. Whether the machine gods led you to this channel or you're one of my loyal subscribers, thank you for watching the video. I'm gonna talk to you an uncomfortable amount about robot vacuum cleaners in hopefully a short amount of time. Why? It's because it's one of my passions and hobbies. Yes, it is as lame as it sounds, but I enjoy them greatly, and I think they're a slept-upon resource. Ask yourself, why do a robot vacuum? Why get a robot vacuum if I can sweep the floor myself or mop the floor myself? And I counterpoint you this. Do you like doing those things? If so, by all means, keep doing it. But think of it more like a dishwasher. Yes, theoretically, you could wash all those dishes super quick and even better than the machine. But the thing is, when the machine does it, you can do other things. You can read that book. You can watch that episode on Netflix. You can keep up with the Kardashians. You can do any number of things, including things robots can't do. You don't have to do work if a machine can do it. That's not the main point I'm trying to make. The main point I'm trying to make is how neat these little things are, even in their older variations. It's the year 2024 now, and so many advancements have happened. But I'm talking about some of the original robot vacuum cleaners and how dang nifty they are. Now, if you'll excuse me, I will embarrass myself by showing you how many robot vacuum cleaners and robot mops I own as a poor college person. It's slightly embarrassing, but hey, they were at a thrift store. You might be counting on this table and see 5 robots, and yes, you and my wife are correct. We have 5 robot vacuum cleaners or mops. You might say this is too much, just like my wife, and that would be correct. Well, I love messing and repairing with these old robots. They're just, in my opinion, the next step in home cleaning automation. There's caveats there, obviously, but they're just so neat. And not even older ones are effective. See, these two are much older. They are, let's say like this. This one has Wi-Fi. This one has Wi-Fi. This one does not. This one's the newest and still sold. And these two I can't find anywhere anymore, but their components are still available, so that's downright lovely. And when you look at reviews of these things, they're always on their effectiveness. And while that is obviously important to buying a product that it actually works, one of the most slept on components, I think, is how you can maintain and repair them. And I'll show you the insides of one of these iRobot ones to tell you what I'm trying to get at. Because in a world where we're trying to seal more technology up so no one can really mess with it, and we want you to have the perfect product every time, and if something goes wrong, you should just get the new one that hopefully nothing will go wrong with. These things are built to essentially, if that wheel breaks down, toss it. If that spinner breaks down, toss it. And obviously, when it's a vacuum cleaner, you have to maintain it to function. And though these things are highly effective at maintaining a level of cleanliness, they're also incredibly interesting and easy to maintain. And hopefully I can show you that now. Hello, welcome to my desk in a different lighting temperature. I will now be disassembling this iRobot Roomba, just to show you how oddly dedicated robot vacuum cleaner manufacturers are to having replacement components, which I enjoy greatly. Let's get started, shall we? Now, if I'm time-lapsing that, you'll notice something very interesting, that I didn't really need to time-lapse that. It's incredibly easy to get the bottom cover off, and it's kind of odd that more things aren't like this, but I appreciate it greatly. In fact, let's tear apart some things. This is a not second-hand battery, a replacement battery by a third party. Dang, that was easy. Let's remove let's do the easy to remove part, the basket in the back. for collecting all the things. Well, you know, that should be simple always. Let's try to remove this component right here. Now that was pretty simple, and I'm not going to patronize you by removing the rollers. That's how all these function. You replace those every now and again. So that's, you know, pretty obvious that they have to change. Well, let's remove one of these wheels. That should be difficult, right? You don't normally need to replace wheels. Well, that was oddly easy, but you might notice some more interesting things if you're an actual engineer or a technical person, is that, I mean, let me show you. These connect not by wires or anything interesting or like soldered down like that. They are basically like slot-in cartridges, which is so neat and nifty, and I'm annoyed that other things don't do that. But if you look even closer, it has all the little boards in there, and it feels like, I mean, it might just feel like it because I'm not a novice. I'm a novice at it. But this looks like any like random RC motor. So I bet if you were savvy enough, you could replace these yourselves and keep the entire apparatus almost without needing to even send in for a new chunk of part. But anyway, let's get the other one out and keep going. I'm thoroughly impressed, and some other things you might not have noticed is that I've only used one screwdriver, and a lot of the screws are built so they stay inside the plastic molding, so they don't fall out, and you need to find them. Like the bottom plate, wherever I put that, it still has all its screws in. Let me grab it. It still has all its screws in, and it's not falling out as I shake it. They're built to stay in so you don't lose them. And that's like the attention to detail I love. Well, let's get the spinner blade out. Ironically, this is one of the only things that I've ever seen fail on these machines, which is quite a hoot. Anyway, let's get to it. This is a nifty design. Look at this bad boy. It has the motor down there. Now that's interesting and all, but let's look inside the robot real quick. Look at those springs. Just to connect power to it, really. That's downright neat. They could have almost done anything, really, with this. They could have made it a wire. They could have just built it in and soldered it down. They could even use like these little like circuit board sections where you pop in the cartridge. But they chose to do springs. I'm not sure why. I'm no engineering genius. But that is so nifty. It's like, if you just had a motor that used the same amount of power, you could just press it in there and make it function. That's the kind of options I like. So now there's actually even more that you can take out. Obviously you can disassemble the entire thing to its like circuit boards and everything, and I've done that to one or two of these. How should I put this? If that sporked, you can basically replace everything by hand but the motherboard, which isn't too bad, but it's probably, you know, that's like the main cost of these things. You know, you wouldn't try to rebuild a Camaro from its 4 wheels. You would just get a new one. But yeah, there's actually one extra piece. This little wheel can come off extremely easily. You just need to get something to pry it. So hopefully I can find one. Each one of these can be replaced individually with like minimal problems, as long as the company keeps on selling it, or as you'll find if you scroll on Amazon at all, as long as people have the plans to sell it, because third-party parts are here and they're raring to go. You can keep, you know, if you invested in one of these today, I'm not sure what they were at MSRP, but you could keep them running way after they discontinue the product. With filters and these, and, you know, barring catastrophe, you got a robot vacuum cleaner that's constantly running. And truthfully, that's what I enjoy most about these products, is that they're not throwaway, they're not anything crazy like that. you decide that you get value out of them and you can keep them running. And also, I think they're very neat, and I want a fleet of them, and I think it would just be very fun. You know, you go to a friend's house, and they needed help clean up. They're like changing apartments, or they really just like didn't clean up for a while. You go help them clean up, and then you bring a fleet of robot vacuum cleaners to invade their home. You get called to help clean up after a party, and then you just walk in and you throw a bunch of robot vacuum cleaners down and let your friends wonder and cower in amazement about how many robot vacuum cleaners you have. That's what I long for in life. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. It's just a hobby of mine, there's no deeper meaning.